Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button on this video like it's a pre-transition Ellen page, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, MetVPN. I use MetVPN to hide my location from the Canadian government, to keep my freedom of speech as well as to sail the high seas and download movies and TV shows without potentially getting sued by lawyers. MetVPN offers unlimited data traffic, no logs, a kill switch in case your VPN temporarily goes offline, and it's only $2.45 a month on a 24-month plan. Keep your online activities private and free. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number one is another fine example of enrichment. This cross in São Lazaro, Portugal, was built in 1386 and stood for centuries until it was destroyed by Pakistani immigrants. If only the Crusaders could see us now. I wonder what they would do. Here's one Muslim saying that Allah doesn't like intelligent Muslims and wants them submissive and obedient, and then once they become intelligent, they want to leave Islam. I think that says it all. Full mic drop. Moving on, Pornhub blocks all Floridians from accessing their site on January 1st. I guess this is what VPNs were made for. Or you could use the Tor browser, which would also work. Also, please no one tell them the next videos gets way more traffic and has more content. Probably X-Hamster too. Corn is the best tool used to keep men docile and sexually satisfied. Why do you think that liberals allow it? Those on the right want to ban it because then their followers will fight the left. It's all stupid games. Number three, and speaking of leftoids that want to keep you docile, in 1988 the federal government banned metal-tipped lawn darts because a single child died from one, and now they want to do the same for assault rifles. But it makes me wonder how many people died from regular darts, not to mention kitchen knives, hammers, screwdrivers, and other things that have ended way more people. Should we ban automobiles too because someone might drive into a crowd? The leftoid state wants to be the only one to practice violence on its citizens. Up next, Billie Eilish says she had a ton of good sex this year after wishing that no one knew anything about her dating life ever again. She's probably just saying that because it's hard to hide your notch count when you're a famous person and she wants to get ahead of the news. What she did was basically tell everyone I don't want them to know how big a slut I am. And then a few months later said, I'm a big slut. She kind of reminds me of a discount Mo the female singer. Number 5, we have Belle Delphine and Finster the Transformer doing this photo op together. To me, they just look trashy and sprayed with Pepto-Bismol. Are they trying to make it look like Belle Delphine is banging a T-girl? I wonder which one gets more benefits from this photo shoot. Who's going to gain more attention? After all, someone has to be a top and somebody has to be a bottom. I think that stuff like this is all about slowly making men accept T-women. Moving on, this adult daughter ends her mother in her New Jersey home. Okay, but who's the guy in that photo? I'm a bit confused. Actually, I know it is the daughter, but how can a daughter have that mustache? Then again, maybe daughter is Ebonics or something, and I'm new to this sort of slang. I don't know about you, but I can definitely smell the bacon grease off this photo. Maybe she's in her early stage of transitioning where she stopped shaving her face. Number 7, here's yet more trans insanity. This author comes out as a transgender man after his wife comes out as a transgender woman. And the pair who have a transgender daughter now live in a 4-way open relationship with their trans lovers. I'm waiting for the Disney adaptation, but in the meantime, I think this is just swingers with extra steps. It also sounds like these individuals are trying to outcompete each other or something to see who can embrace the woke mind virus the most. Up next, Europe approves a self-replicating jab that spreads to unvaccinated people. Sounds to me like medical grape and insanity. If this gets bad and you want to escape it, you'll have to go live in the forest. So now it looks like we have a viral contagious turbo cancer. This is some James Bond villain level of evil and proves that the zombie apocalypse is upon us. Communicable vaccines are a Nuremberg violation, a medical freedom violation. I guess the National Socialists are back in charge in Europe. Number 9, racist messages found in Texas college campuses were fabricated according to the school. So why do you suppose that is? It's because the left needs racism to survive by dividing people. Don't think for a moment that this is an isolated incident. Just look at this story where a Jewish suspect was arrested for apparently spray painting the logo of Mr. Mustache. Being seen as a victim gives you power over others. Moving on, here we have an example of real racism. A desperate mom asked the school to help her son, but they refused because he's white, i.e. privileged. and that the school only provides additional resources to First Nations, Black, and Hispanic students. Meanwhile, I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of the taxes paid to these programs were actually from white folks. The same people that tell you racism is never okay are willing to throw white people under the bus. Number 11 is Mr. Beast, a blue-pilled simp. Look at the way he's leaning into his girlfriend, Taya Boyson. She's a gamer and a YouTuber too. I guess she's the perfect female chameleon. But to be fair, in all the other pictures of the two of them, they're standing just as straight without either of them leaning into each other. Go back through your old relationship photos, and if both of you are standing up straight, then it means that the relationship is generally pretty balanced and equal. Up next, how do you know when a politician is lying? When their lips are moving. Well, in this case, her lips don't even have to move. Here we have AOC faking her arrest, and it looks like the police are complicit in this fraud. The only thing she forgot to think of is that in this day and age, everyone has a camera in their pockets. So she was too stupid to ask the police to put the cuffs on her to make it look authentic. Number 13, at the end of 2024, Bitcoin's price fell from 108,000 down to the mid to low 90s. That's what needs to happen to purge all the leverage long tourists. I've been holding my BTC for 5 years now. If you want to know the best indicator for the top of the Bitcoin bull market, then look up the Pi Cycle Top Indicator chart. And you'll see that it was accurate in 2013, 2017, and 2021. Doesn't mean it's going to be accurate in 2025. But until it stops being accurate, I'll keep looking at it. Moving on, a new real estate platform will show a neighborhood's political leaning to prospective homebuyers. Gee, I wonder what could possibly go wrong. First, it's the neighborhood, then eventually I'm sure they'll somehow find a way to violate people's privacy and find out what each individual household's political affiliation is. Maybe they'll do this by keeping track of who puts political flags on their lawn or puts an American flag on their porch. Number 15, who actually believes this, that devout religious followers have better sex lives? I think this article was just written by some religious conservatives to try and convert more people to religion. It's like those televangelist scammers that say that if you send them money, Jesus and God will bless you with great wealth. Then again, maybe it's true, because if a religious woman is still a virgin, that she's not comparing her beta husband to some Tyrone from the 6th grade. Up next, what's going on with these Hollywood stars? Do they appear to be aging in reverse? What are they doing? Is it just plastic surgery and photo filters? Maybe they're drinking baby's blood or something like that. There's also endocrine, which supposedly comes from the adrenal chrome of a live human being. It's a far-right conspiracy theory for now, but conspiracies like this have a nasty habit of coming true all the time. Number 17, isn't it crazy how the circus freaks from 100 years ago are no longer freaks? Where do we go from here? How can people modify their bodies to get attention in the future? We're reaching what seems to be the limits. Even face tattoos and gender surgeries are no longer considered all that uncommon. What do you guys predict will be the next trendy freak show change people will do to themselves? Moving on, a Chinese woman in Shanghai gives birth to a dark-skinned baby and denies that she was cheating. Too bad we can't actually see if the baby has black features from the photo. Even her doctors are covering for her, saying that it could be a genetic mutation or recessive gene. Looks like the coal burning has started happening in China as well. The guy should simply get a DNA test to clear up if this is Tyrone's baby or not. Number 19, here is the amount of people eligible to be mass deported once Trump takes power. Time for all those people to pack their bags and go home. But we all know that the actual number is a lot higher than that. If 2 million illegals were sent out of California alone, it might actually become Republican again. Also, imagine the epic collapse in real estate prices if all these people were sent home. The actual number is closer to 30 to 40 million. Up next, you believe this article that women exhibit less manipulative personality traits in more gender-equal countries. I do, because in environments where women have their own jobs and income, they don't have to employ as many Machiavellian traits to get what they want. We live in the most gender-equal time in history, and women still aren't acting awful. Imagine how awful they were in the past trying to manipulate men to get what they want from us. I also think the rise in simps coincides with men no longer having the skills necessary to protect themselves from women's dark triad traits. Number 21, what happened to Lisa Theris? She was lost in an Alabama forest after getting high on meth and jumping from a car with no clothing, no food, or shoes, and managed to find her way to the road after 28 days of living off of mushrooms and berries in the woods. Looks like the forest also changed her race. That will happen with no makeup and healthy sun exposure, though. She lived a real-life episode of Naked and Afraid and was also legally blind without her glasses. Moving on, this cheating wife plotted to end her husband with her lover. and his teenage daughter, but botched up the attempts 3 times. They tried to shoot him, poison him, and blow him up. This guy survived more attempts on his life than Rasputin. He was a terminally ill man and a super simp because he forgave her despite her cheating and plotting to end him, and says he wants to survive so they can get back together again. This guy needs to win the award for Simp of the Year for 2024. Number 23 looks like Tesla vehicles have the highest rate of fatal accidents of all car brands. Is that because people put their cars onto autopilot and then fap off in the back seat? I find it hard that the brakes fail or that there's some other mechanical malfunction. The article agrees and finds that it's indicative of driver behavior. So Tesla drivers are the worst ones on the road. Autonomous is great, 10 times safer than humans, but when it goes wrong, it goes catastrophically wrong. Up next, how does the burning of this rainbow flag make you feel? I prefer it was a trans flag because traditionally gay people who used to fly this 20 or 30 years ago were perfectly fine and didn't deserve this. I'm sure the person doing this is probably in prison for 5 years. Meanwhile, if they had burned an American flag, the woke government wouldn't have cared. Number 25 and the last one, speaking of being gay, the new Jaguar car company, now being rebranded unofficially as Fagwar, says that their woke rebranding is a significant risk and has led to a decline in used car sales. Funny, the same thing happened to Bud Light when they went woke. Who would want to drive a car that's associated with social justice? Even the thieves aren't stealing these anymore because their criminal clients don't want them anymore. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.